Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today for another content creator program video. Today focused on Valkyrie, the new king of Asgard. So, man, Valkyrie, like when I heard Valkyrie and Gore were coming, I was so hyped for Gore, man. Gore the God Butcher. And he's cool, but he has like his niche against the elders and the gods. That's where he really excels. But that's not a big part of the game. But Valkyrie, man, I think she's going to be the more useful of the two, definitely like on a day-to-day type basis. So my favorite thing about Valkyrie lies in her signature ability, which is a bit unfortunate because you need to be Sig 200 to get it to this level. But at max level, man, if you just have one of each of her effects, they give some crazy things. So if you have one Pierce effect, could be a buff or a passive, doesn't matter. She has buffs and you can turn them into passives, or if they get nullified, I believe they get turned into passives. But so if you have one of them at Sig 200, you can unstoppable opponents react to hits as though they weren't. So it's basically like the best slow in the game, but it's not a slow, and she doesn't counter evade. But like, she just straight up can hit into unstoppable, no problem. It's crazy. I'm gonna show you guys how good it is. This is probably the absolute best unstoppable counter in the entire game. Like it's insane. It's so strong. And then the other part of that signature ability is if you have one bulwark effect, she's immune to stun debuffs. Now, if that was all stun effects, that'd be really good. But still, being immune to stun debuffs is great, man. Like encroaching stun, that annoying stuff. She can just totally get around it. And she has a synergy with Korg, Thor, and someone else that she just starts with a bulwark. So like, boom, you're good. You're stun immune. You start stun immune. So it's pretty crazy. So let's just go ahead and jump into a little bit of Realm of Legends Winter Soldier just to start before we ramp things up a bit. It's about to get ramped up pretty hard in the next fight. So with Valkyrie, she's all about hitting into blocks, and it's all about her combo. And her combo is weird, and you can invert it. So right there, you see it's blue right now. So I ended that combo with a light attack, and that basically inverted my combo. So I dropped below 10, and then I ended with a medium to set it back to normal. Then I go above 10. And so you want to keep going up and down increments of 10. So 10, 20, 30, it doesn't matter. But go up and down. When you go below it, you get bulwark buffs. And when you go above it, you get pierce buffs. So you can get 3 of each, and that's what you want to do. Then you throw your special 2 into their block, and you get a fat passive fury, and you deal a bunch of damage. Now, this isn't her ideal rotation. Her ideal rotation is to use a heavy attack, and that turns your buffs into passives and makes them more potent, and then to do the special 2. That's what you're supposed to do. And I think we're going to go for that here. So yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. It places an Intimidate debuff on him, so he turtles up, and now we throw this fat special 2 into his block. And you can see we're dealing absurd block damage afterwards as well. There I did a full 5 combo, so I ended up getting hit. But you can see with that Fury passive, she's just hitting like a truck and just doing so much block damage. So that's like her ideal cycle right there. That's what you want to do. However, when you do the heavy attack, like I said, it consumes those buffs. Now, we're going to jump into Abyss to really, I'm throwing some max boosts because we're going to be taking on Abyss Luke Cage. So I'm showing you guys that signature ability again because that's really going to come in handy here. But so when you do that heavy attack, you place that Intimidate debuff, but like I said, you also consume your buffs. Now, those buffs are permanent. So you see that Bulwark buff that we started with, that Pierce buff we just got. There's no timer on them. They're not expiring. They're permanent. They last forever. The only way for me to get rid of them, I mean, they can get like nullified, but like for me to manually myself get rid of them is to use that heavy attack. So that gets rid of them. So, once you lose those, then they turn passive and then they can expire. And once you don't have them, then you lose that signature ability effect. You need to have at least one up. So then you would lose being able to counter unstoppable. You would lose that stun immunity. So in like certain fights, you maybe don't want to consume them, or only use it to like end the fight. So because like against this Luke Cage, I don't ever want to use a heavy attack. I don't want to ever consume my buffs, because if I do, then I won't be able to counter unstoppable anymore. But the great thing about Valkyrie is you don't need to. Like, her damage is still great, and she's still great to play, and you can just keep those buffs permanently. It's wonderful. And I kind of prefer just playing that way, because you build it up at the start, and then you don't have to worry. You're good from there. So like as you can see, man, Luke Cage is unblockable and unstoppable, and it's all good. We can just hit into him and hit into his block, and it's no biggie. We just totally get around that unstoppable. So this is basically like the best unstoppable counter in the game because like it's still there. She just ignores it. She basically just ignores unstoppable. Again, as long as you have one of your buffs active. I forget which one is which now. I think it's Pierce. Yeah, I think it's Pierce for unstoppable, Bulwark for stun immunity. Yeah, that sounds right. So as you can see, she's able to do this fight pretty well. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, well, okay, like that's an unstoppable buff, big deal. You know, what about a passive unstoppable? What about Aspect of War? What about the enrage timers in Labyrinth or Abyss? You know, what about those, Legacy? Can she counter those? And, well, in 69 charges, you will see it for yourself. But I'll tell you right now, yes, it doesn't matter. It's unstoppable effects. Doesn't matter where it is. She just straight up ignores them. Unstoppable buff, unstoppable passive, doesn't matter. If they're unstoppable, Valkyrie ignores it and she doesn't care. And it's wonderful. It's truly wonderful. But like I said, the big downside is on a 6-star, you know, that's Sig 200. So right there, that's another piece of utility that she has. You see Luke Cage applied exhaustion debuffs to us, and she got rid of them. So Valkyrie has, I believe it's up to a 90% chance to purify non-damaging debuffs. So that's pretty nice, man. That's a pretty nice additional piece of utility that she has baked into her kit. But it's really, I see the real value all in that signature ability. So, you know, she basically needs to be awakened to get her best piece of utility, in my opinion, and basically max Sig. But once you have that, she's pretty damn nice. It's pretty damn crazy. And so we got 10 charges left. So you guys are about to see what happens. So Luke Cage, another cool thing is, you know, Luke Cage has his indestructible on cooldown right now, but because we're hitting into his block, it doesn't activate, which is pretty slick. So right here, we trigger the Abyss Enrage, Final Enrage, and he starts going nuts. But look, it's all good. It's all good. We can still hit into him. It doesn't matter. The only thing is he's unblockable. So a better slow, essentially. But as you can see, we've already been in this fight for a while. Luke Cage, this is I'd say this is like the most difficult Abyss fight aside from the Collector. And it's just such a long fight too, man. Like I could be in here. It would take me probably like another 20 minutes to kill him. To take off the next 83% health. So I'm going to spare you guys that for now. I'm not going to get the full solo right now, but in the future, for sure, maybe with like a rank 4 Valkyrie, I could definitely see myself coming back here. But with the rank 3 for right now, I don't need to. I'm sure MSD's probably uploaded a solo anyways. So yeah, I'll leave that to him for now. And yeah, I really just wanted to show you guys how crazy she can be in Abyss, works in Abyss. You can see it for yourself, and this is meant to be how it works. This is totally intended. This is not a bug or anything like that. So pretty awesome, man. Pretty awesome. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into some Act 7 and have some fun. So there's a node called Invade. So this has Invade, Kinetic Instigator, and Oscillate. So what Kinetic Instigator does, I just realized this now, and it turns out it's one of like the best nodes for Valkyrie too. So Invade, what it does is you do more damage to the block, but Kinetic Instigator is basically kinetic transference but for you. So when we hit into Iron Man's block here, we're going to be gaining power, which is really nice, and this is so busted for Valkyrie. So you see we throw that fat special 2 into his block and we're getting a bunch of power back. Then we throw another fat special 2 into his block. Each hit's dealing about 20k. And then we throw another special 2 into his block. And yeah, she's pretty good for this path. So we're going to do that Yellow Jacket in X23, because why not? It's pretty fun. And then we'll go do some other fights. So yeah, that Invade, it's nice. The Oscillate is a little bit annoying, but during that Oscillate phase, I just try to build up her buffs. So like her build up, it's not that bad. You see, we're going to get to 10. We're going to get that combo inverted. Then we're going to drop to 9. You see, we're going to get that bulwark buff. Then we're going to go to 11. And then you see, we're going to get that pierce buff. Then we're going to go back down to 9. Get a third bulwark buff. Go back up to 11. Get the pierce buff. And that's her cycle. You know, it's not too bad. The neat thing about Valkyrie is blocked hits also count towards her combo meter. So we're still building our combo when we're hitting into his block. And we're gaining power through the kinetic instigator, but we also gain, I believe it's like 1.1% of power or something. You still gain some power when hitting to the block. It's just, it's a lot less without the kinetic instigator. But it is still some, which does help, and it is nice. So that yellow jacket goes down pretty smoothly. And then we're just going to do this X23 as well, because I was having a lot of fun on this path. So, again, same thing. We're going to go 5-hit combo, then do another 5-hit combo, ending with a light. There we go, that's combo inverted. Go to 9, get the bulwark, do a 2-hit combo, ending in a medium, just to get things back to normal. And then go to 11, and then end in a light again. It's just, you're just dancing around that 10 number at the start, and it's not too bad for build up, man. Like, that's like all the build up she really needs to do. You can get it done within like the first 20-30 seconds of the fight, and then you're good, and it has an incredible payoff. So like, ramp up on Valkyrie, not too shabby, man, not too shabby. So I was actually, the reason I came into this quest was because I was looking for encroaching stun on Aunt May. Dude, I love Aunt May. It's so helpful for making videos. Just search up a node, and then boom, it tells you where that node is. But the problem is it doesn't tell you if it's a path node or if it's a boss node. So I was looking through this whole quest. I was looking through every single path. I'm like, dude, I don't see encroaching stun anywhere in here. I'm like, oh, it must just be on one of the bosses. And sure enough, it was. But I spotted this lane. I'm like, dude, this lane looks like an absolute blast for Valkyrie. So it has, it's funny, it has more of that kinetic instigator. So when we hit into his block, we're also going to be gaining some power. But it also has some paradox, which was kind of annoying. So dealing with that, then here I get too much power. So if you go to the special 3, it's just going to go ahead and apply an intimidate debuff. But that one won't eat up it won't consume your buffs. Whereas the heavy attack one does, which is kind of annoying. So the power here was a little too much, the paradox at the start. Here I throw my special 2 into him, and of course he just evades the entire thing because I didn't knock him down. But I didn't want to knock him down because if I use my heavy, I consume all my buffs. That's kind of the thing that I don't like about Valkyrie, is that your heavy, like if you need to use a heavy attack in some kind of situation and you don't want to consume all your effects, like, you have no choice. Maybe if there was like a dash back whole block for like 2.5 seconds, and then on your next heavy attack you won't consume your buffs, or something like that was built in, because you might be thinking like Legacy, like that's rare that you don't want to use your heavy attack. And I agree, but literally the boss of this quest the one that I was trying to fight that has encroaching stun, it ended up being a bad matchup for Valkyrie because it had what's that node called? It slips my mind now. It's the one, though, where every hit you do on them up to 20 lowers the damage they take, and at 20 they take no damage, and the only way to reset it is with a heavy attack. So, like, I have to get rid of my effects with Valkyrie, and yeah, it's annoying. As you can see, our stun debuffs are longer. I believe that's because the bulwark giving us a longer stun duration, because we have more perfect block chance. I think that's what's going on there. Or it might be with the paradox, our debuff duration is increased. That might be why, actually. Or it might be a little bit of a combination of both. But anyway, I'm going to throw my special 2 here. Does some pretty good damage. Hitmonkey catches me. She does have a built-in evade, but of course Hitmonkey can counter evade, so we kind of got screwed right there. Her special 3 is pretty nice to look at, though. But you see here, Hitmonkey, he's not triggering that evade when we are hitting into his block. Again, that's another nice thing about Valkyrie. Some characters just have it built into their kit when they're hit into their block, they just don't evade. A really good example of that is Spider-Gwen, one of the most annoying evade champs in the entire game. if you hit into her block, she won't evade. So Valkyrie, although she can't counter evade, would be not a horrible option against Spider-Gwen if you could build her up. And, you know, building her up would still be a bit of a tall order, though, probably, in that fight. But yeah, next up here we have a Human Torch, so some class advantage. I think this was a pretty good fight. So far, these fights haven't been going super well, but the path is about to get better. It's about to start going a lot better. So I'm just going to bait out Torch's Special 2. I much prefer to bait Torch's L2 than his L1, because I can pretty much guarantee the evade on it and easily punish it, whereas the Special 1, man, every time I evade Torch's Special 1, and then I evade the whole thing, and then I try to punish him, and I get, like, parried, or just attacked, or I don't connect, and it's just not worth. So, just going to go ahead and throw the Special 3 here, get that Intimidate up. And now the Kinetic Instigator is giving me some power. So just hammering combos into his block. Go ahead, drop a fat Special 2. That was a thick Special 2, man. And then a couple blocked hits, and we're going to get off another one. You can see doing 21k block damage per hit. Pretty nuts. She also has some instant bleeds that are triggering as well, which is pretty nice. But we won't be able to see that in this next fight because Iron Man Infinity War is immune to bleed when he has his armor active. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but this fight was an interesting one. So, you know, the annoying thing about Iron Man Infinity War is the end of the fight when, of course, he gets all his armors and he auto blocks and all that shenanigans, but you can't get auto blocked if you're already hitting into their block, right? I don't think you can. So Valkyrie doesn't really care too much about that, but still just gotta build her up. I guess I didn't realize how long those stuns were. Yeah, it must be from the Paradox. It was weird. Stuns are lasting forever. So, hit into his block here. Doing some decent damage. Gonna go ahead, bait that special. There we go. Still need to build up some more of my buffs. Only have one of the bulwarks right now, so went ahead and inverted my combo so we can go ahead and try to get some more of those. Because on the Special 2, that Fury passive that we get, I believe you get more potency for the amount of Pierce and Bulwark effects that you have. So just the more the better. The more buffs, the more effects you have, just the harder that Special 2 is going to hit. So right here, going to go ahead and get that Intimidate up on the Special 3, just mainly so I can build back to my Special 2. And as you can see, guys, like, I'm not even really going for the consumption of my effects to get bigger Special 2s. It's really not needed, I don't think. So here he triggers that final mode, and then I just go for a Special 1 into his block, and that's enough to get him down. But, like, yeah, man, I much prefer just playing Valkyrie and not consuming all the effects, because, like, I take my time building them up to max at the start of the fight, and then I just consume them and lose them. Like, the only time I'd want to do that is if it's to end the fight, you know? I don't want to have to build up... It's kind of annoying. It's slightly annoying to build up 3 Pierce and 3 Bulwark. So, but I don't mind doing it once in a fight. But I don't want to do it more than once in a fight, you know? So, next up here we have this Jabari Panther. This fight was interesting. So I draw my Special 3 here, but she's going to cleanse the Intimidate, which I thought was funny. She's cleansing my non-damaging debuffs, but we can also cleanse her non-damaging debuffs, which we're about to do right here. You see that? We just got ensnared. Nope. We can purify debuffs too, Jabari. 2 can play at this game. So things are going decent in this fight. This fight's getting a little crazy. We just, right here, this is perfect. We've got everything lined up. Gonna go ahead and drop that Special 2 into her block. Just does some super fat damage. Cycle back to another one through Kinetic Instigator, and lights out Jabari Panther. So I got one more fight for you guys here, and it's going to be against Encroaching Stun. So I just want to show you how great she is. So I have Korg on the team, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with one of the Bulwark buffs. That way I just start out stun immune to stun debuffs. So I just start this fight, and I don't have to worry about Encroaching Stun. Pretty damn nice. So I'm going to go ahead, get that combo inverted. Going to go ahead and build up some Bulwarks here. So boom, we're at 2 of those now. Then build up some Pierce. Then invert the combo again. Get another Bulwark. There we go. Got 3 of those. Now fix the combo, and boom, now we're at 3 of 3. So, you know, there we go. There's all of our buffs built up. It's not too bad to build it up. It's just, like I said, I wouldn't want to do it more than once in a fight. So here, gonna go ahead and apply the Intimidate, because here I'm just trying to nuke him down. So this is like the ideal cycle. Does some pretty good damage, but not enough to kill him. And right there, I think I got stunned from encroaching stun, but I think Valkyrie just purified it for me, so that was nice of her. Pretty great ability. But again, like if I wasn't just doing this one fight, I would not have been consuming my bulwark. Or if this was like encroaching stun in Alliance War, there's no way that I would be consuming that unless I knew it was for a kill shot, you know? But yeah, we built back up some Pierce buffs. It didn't really bother building more than one of the bulwarks, and just looking for a opportunity to hit his block. And there we go. Got the Foresight from intercepting, so that even increased our damage more. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for the Valkyrie gameplay today. I hope you enjoyed. I had an absolute blast playing with her. Like I said, the only downside is she kind of needs that max sig to be super useful. You know, with lower sig, she can still do the same thing. You just need more of... So like at max sig, you only need one of each buff. So at a lower sig, you might need 2 or 3 of the buffs to get the same effect. So you know, she still has that at lower sigs, but you just need more to get it off, which is kind of annoying. With just one, it's great. That's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the showcase. Drop a like if so, subscribe if you'd like to see more content. Who do you think is better, Gore or Valkyrie? Let me know down in the comment section down below. I think Valkyrie's a bit better, but I still think Gore is Gore's underrated, to be honest. I think people are underrating him already. Just my thoughts. I don't know. Once I make that Gore video that I teased, maybe we'll see. But that's gonna do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoy it. Peace out.